were playing Celtic. We were 3-0 down at halftime. And he picked up a kit bag, threw it at me, and said, if you don't start playing actual soccer, this is the polite way of putting it. If you don't start playing soccer, you'll be a kit man, and you'll never make any money in your life. So I was sat there as a 14-year-old with a kit bag on my, like this.
Welcome to the Hard Reset podcast. This is a podcast that's about life's unexpected turns, what happened, why it happened, and how it shaped the future. And so I'm super excited about this episode. This is Ross Finnie. He is a Scotsman all the way across the pond. So really excited for y'all to hear what it's like to be a professional athlete and then transition and leave everything that you've ever known in your family and take a chance on America. So awesome episode. I hope you enjoy it. Ross Finnie.
Yep.
Welcome. I am so glad you're here. And this is something that I've been wanting to have, is just a conversation with you and kind of talk about maybe a moment in your life where you kind of had a hard reset and brought you to this moment that you're in. So obviously, distinctly, I can hear an accent in you.
Yep.
So tell me about that.
So from Scotland, family's still there, but lived in England since I was a young kid. So going through this school system in England, lost my accent. Parents still give me a bit of stick for it when they hear it every now and then.
You said you'd lost a little bit of your accent?
My Scottish one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Scotland, lived in England, and now ended up out here.
Yeah. So where in Scotland did you grow up?
So East Coast, Carnoustie, small, you'll know it, golf town.
Yeah.
Biggest city nearby is Dundee, which is like 20 minutes, but right on the coast. Beautiful little town, small town. Not much going on apart from beach and golf.
Beach and golf town.
And it's not much of a beach either.
Yeah. So you grew up in Carnoustie, right?
Yep.
Which is next to the, top 5 golf course in the world, right?
Yep.
So how many times have you played it?
I was actually a member there since I was a kid. I moved down to England when I was really little, but basically if you're a resident of Carnoustie, which my family was, you got like discounted memberships. So it was like $125 for a membership. So my parents just kept it all the way through.
For like a membership for the entire year?
Yeah.
Or like...
Yeah, local membership. So every summer I'd go spend like 3 weeks at a time with my cousins and auntie and uncle. And me and my cousin would go down to the golf range every day, go hit balls, and like every now and then go play on the course. So I've probably played it a good amount of times.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was legal in, the home of golf to hit an extra ball.
Yeah, definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely when you're 10 years old as well.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. One of the things that really fascinates me is like growing up abroad in the UK, right? What was some of the things that you got to do as, like, other than golf? What was your childhood like?
Basically, we call it football, but soccer. I was at Wolves Academy since I was 8. So, I mean, I did all sorts of sports, but that was the main one. 3 times a week, once a game at the weekend. So, yeah, I mean, if I wasn't training soccer, I was out with my mates playing soccer on the streets or in the park or whatever. Come home from school, say to my mom, can I go out? She'd say yes or no. And if it was a yes, there'd be like 7 of us, 8 of us in a group. We'd go down the park and just be kids.
Yeah, why would she say no?
If homework wasn't done, stuff like that. Bedroom wasn't clean.
And so if you just eat, slept, and breathed soccer, is the 3 days a week, was that all practice and then a scrimmage, or were you just playing games?
Yeah, so I think it was, my dad sent me the schedule not long ago. I want to say it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. We drive to Wolverhampton, which is like 45 minutes an hour, straight from school, 6 to 8. We'd train, come home, and that'd be it. And then as an academy player, it was Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning. That was your only game, which was nice. Everybody played at 11 o'clock and then you were done. So like Saturday you got to be a kid, Sunday you were
On the pitch.
on the pitch.
Yeah.
I like how you called it pitch too.
Yeah. That's, I'm very European.
Yeah.
Obviously. Do you have a favorite coach that you had growing up that was like, man, I want to play soccer. I want to play hard for him?
I've had a few, but the one that sticks out would probably be my under 14s coach, Des. Like one of the best guys you'd meet, but that was the point where he was the first one that like would swear at you and like get into you. And I responded really well to that, and some kids didn't.
Yeah.
And that's when I found myself like kind of separating myself between guys. I feel like he really like pushed me to be better in that way.
So Des, D-E-Z?
DES, I want to say.
D-E-S?
Desmond.
Okay. What was that core moment that you remember when he got on to you? Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, we were in Ireland. It was a tournament, and it was like a group game. We were playing Celtic. We were 3-0 down at halftime, and he picked up a kit bag, threw it at me, and said, "If you don't start playing actual soccer, this is the polite way of putting it. You don't start playing soccer, you'll be a kit man, and you'll never make any money in your life." So I was sat there as a 14-year-old with a kit bag on like this. He was like, "You'll be cleaning up after all these lads if you don't get your act together."
And so what happened?
It definitely changed. I mean, we didn't end up winning the game, but over time, like he bought into what I was and I bought into what he was. And that was like pre-season too. So it was probably a bit of an example making of like, this is how the year's going to go.
Did he throw it at you because you were probably one of the leaders on the team, or you were the leader on the team?
Yeah, maybe. I've kind of learned that over the last few years where, I mean, I can't remember, we were getting beat pretty bad. I was probably playing bad, so probably deserved it. But like sometimes, especially like head coaches and stuff will say something to someone that they know can take it, just so other people can hear it and get a reaction out of them as well, which I found a bit interesting. I don't know if that was that moment of that, but it was probably a bit of both. He knew I could take it. I was a captain at the time, so maybe it was that, or maybe I was just playing really bad and he wanted to get me going.
And so you were probably, what, 12, 13?
It would have been 13, yeah.
Yeah. And you were training every day?
Yeah, I was training every day. So these lads have jobs as well, but it's like lower league, so the clubs can't afford to have them full time, so they get a job and then they play footy on the side. And I think we were playing in a derby or something, and pulled us in at halftime. I think it was like 1-1. We weren't playing great, and he basically came in and said, like, "You boys don't realize that this is my livelihood. I pay my rent with this. I pay for my family with this." And like I was like 19 at the time, and like I never had that before. Never been told that, look, what you do on the field affects me and my family, and like that kind of hit home. And ever since that moment, I know that like I've given everything for the coach, because that kind of opened my perspective to, you're kind of messing with people's family if you're not doing your job on the field.
So what was the what happens after you hear that statement? Is it you just like, do you just focus more? You train harder? Like what does that mean when he says, "Hey, like I'm depending on you. My family's depending on you"?
Yeah, it definitely flips a switch to where you're just a bit more conscious about it. It wasn't like we didn't try or any of that. It's managers do different things to get different reactions out of players, and that was one that kind of pushed me a little to be like, oh, this isn't like academy football, put your arm around someone and be like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like next one, it's like, no, like you mess up and you miss that chance, or you don't clear the ball and they score and we lose 1-0. Like I lose my job, I lose my income, my family struggles. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So like every little detail, every little moment in the game, whether it be a simple clearance, a simple pass, like it really means something.
Yeah. What was your biggest defeat that you can remember?
Biggest in terms of score, or
Yeah.
biggest in terms that hurt?
Yeah, what was the one that hurt the most?
The one that hurt the most would probably be conference tournament for Georgia State. We played Coastal. We'd played them the year before in the final, lost on penalties, and we battered them the whole game, had chances. We were at home, and it was the conference tournament final the next year, and we lost on penalties again. And I remember just standing in the center circle and just like everything out of me, just couldn't believe it. That one hurt because I thought we had them the whole game.
Yeah.
The game plan was perfect. We were playing really well. I thought we'd finally going to do it.
Yeah.
And wasn't to be.
Did you cry?
A little bit, yeah.
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 It's funny. Like emotions, obviously in sports run super high, but it's like when you see the emotion on the athletes and you see them, get upset. Scotty Scheffler in the Ryder Cup. Obviously, we cheer for different teams. I think in the Ryder Cup.
Yes.
And Full Swings Out, which is on Netflix, and they kind of zoomed in on Scotty when he lost like 9 up.
Where him and Koepka against Oberg and Hovland, I want to say.
Victor Hovland, exactly. And they got absolutely smoked. And you saw him crying, and you felt for him because he had put so much into that. And then to get drummed, he let his country down. He let his teammate down. I love that passion. I'm clearly a very passionate person.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going back and forth in the UK. Are you going Scotland, Ireland, England, or are you going all of Europe with your professional career?
So professional was just England. So they do it weird over there. So it's 16, you leave school. So 16 to 18, you can basically get an apprenticeship. That's what they call it.
Apprenticeship in sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you can get one in plumbing or whatever,
Okay.
but they do one for sport as well. So the academies do that where you get, it's cheap money. It's like £140 a week, so $160 a week. They put you in some sort of housing and you train every day. So from 16 to 18, I was training football every day. You did college on a Wednesday, which was like a B-Tech, but it was like coaching. It was easy. It was nothing. It was just basically a day off to make sure, make sure.
A waste of time.
Yes. So 16 to 18, I did that. And then 18 to 21, I was fortunate enough to sign professional at 18. I'd played for Scotland International Youth from under 15s to 18, so similar time frame. So I've been up in and around Scotland, but it took me everywhere. The tournaments that we went to, the games that we played, it was all over Europe.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So 18 to 21 or from 16 to 21, you went all over?
From the ages of probably 12, I was all over.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it hard? Was it hard to go back after, playing all these incredible places, all these incredible venues? Was it hard for you to go back and just practice and get better at your craft?
Not massively. I've a very addictive personality, and like when I latch onto something, like so for golf, I go through big spells where I'll golf every day.
Yeah.
And then I won't touch a club for like 2 months. It's just the way I am. Like I get into something, and soccer was something that I was just addicted to from a kid. I don't know if my dad put it in me, but like every day I was kicking a ball somewhere against a wall, in the house, outside the house, annoying my mom. And I was just addicted from it from day one. So like even in training, I was just always focused. I never messed about. I just wanted to be the best that I could be.
So you just trained every day, got better every day. Who inspired you?
My hero is Steven Gerrard, Liverpool fan, Liverpool player. I remember sitting in the back room of my house watching YouTube videos of him playing.
Yeah.
And then I'd go out in the garden and pretend that I was Steven Gerrard. So.
Yeah, it's incredible when we look back at like the people that inspire us. It's amazing to think about like what their impact is, but obviously the impact maybe that you're having on kids right now.
Yeah.
All right. So you're 21 years old and you're a professional soccer player. And then what happens?
And then I get pulled into the office and get told, no more contract for you. No, you won't get another one. Got in moment, remember going home and crying, because that's what I always thought I was going to be. And then kind of went on trials at different clubs, didn't get exactly what I was hoping for. Ended up being offered okay money, but it was part-time football, like we said. So it was Tuesday, Thursday, play on a Saturday or a Sunday. And that didn't sit well with me. I wanted to be full-time at least. And then I knew somebody who's helps kids get out here into America, into the college system. So I texted him. I was like, do you think it'll work eligibility-wise? Because there's certain gap year rules and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, give me a couple of days. He got back to me. So like, I think you'll be okay. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Send me out there.
Awesome. So we have named the podcast Hard Reset. And the premise behind it is like, surely everyone has this moment in their life where it's like, I need to reset and start over, or I need to change the trajectory of my life. So for you, what I hear you say is that you got out of the professional league and you still love soccer.
Yep.
You didn't want to have this kind of part-time gig. Why choose to go to America?
Mainly because you get to train every day. And then the other side of me was what my parents have always said, that education is really important. And I kind of saw it as a double whammy of, you get an education, you get to train every day, you'll come out at the end of it 4 years of training every day, you've probably improved quite a bit, and you've also got something behind you if you're not going to be a professional. So
Okay.
that was my hard reset of, okay, time to take things a little bit more serious.
Yeah. And America was a better choice than something in the UK?
Yeah, so the biggest thing was like scholarship stuff. If I'd stayed in the UK, I would have to pay for my own education, basically. So that was basically part of it. It's basically free. Well, I was lucky it was free. It's not free.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough that somebody took a chance on me and gave me the opportunity and allowed me to do it. So
Yeah. Does Cambridge have a soccer team?
they probably do. But
But not a good one?
the college, it's so different over there. Like college sports, if you went to college sports over there,
Yeah.
they don't get fans like they do here. Like even at our games at Georgia State, I mean, we got 200 people. You're not getting that at colleges over there.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Because everyone is so into Premier League?
Yeah. Nobody supports colleges or university. It's all professional.
All right, so you call the guy. I'm going to call him a broker. He's a college broker.
Pretty much.
And he's like, I need a couple 3 days. And then he works whatever magic. And then what does he do?
He rang me up. He was like, we can get it done. You need to do this, this, and this, which was basically go get all your grades from your school that you were at, do a bunch of stuff online, visa stuff. I'll contact colleges and see what we can get. And he was like, I'm not going to guarantee you anything because you might not get offered anything. You might get offered something little. It's just a risk that any international takes really is. They can't come and watch you play.
Yeah.
You just got to send film and clips out and hope that somebody's like, yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so did you have to pay this broker? Did your parents have to pay him?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a service, so it was like half up front, half when you get a college accepted.
Okay. And walk me through. All right, a bunch of people watched your videos. Did you get one offer, two offers?
I got a few decent schools. The thing that I always think about is I knew nothing about universities out here on who's big, who's little, who's what. So like West Virginia didn't offer me a full, but offered me a good amount.
Have you seen them burn couches? on television at West Virginia? Yeah, so that they love their sports so much that when they have a victory, they like pull their couches out of their house and set them on fire. I'm not kidding. I don't know if they do it for soccer.
They don't do it for soccer. I know that. We've played them a couple of times. Ohio State offered me, Georgia State offered me, a couple in California, Pacific private school.
Okay.
Looked into that. Cal State Bakersfield. So there's a few. Georgia State had a few English lads. So kind of drew me to that. Just having people that, you know, had same culture as me and stuff like that. And I love the idea of being in the city and doing something, because I was older. I was a 21-year-old freshman. So I wasn't 18 just going away for a college experience. I just wanted to enjoy life to a certain extent when I wasn't concentrating on soccer in school. So I wanted stuff to do. I wanted to be able to go to MLS games or NBA games and stuff like that, just on days off.
So, all right, you're at Georgia State and you're playing soccer. What's your major?
Sports administration.
Okay, sports admin. Did you feel like athletes maybe at Georgia State got maybe preferential treatment because you guys have to travel so much? And
yeah, to an extent. We have an academic advisor who basically does our classes for us, tells us you need this, you need that. So she'll put together a schedule. She makes sure that you've got no classes until like 12:30, so you can train in the morning and not have any like schedule conflicts. You get early registration for classes as an athlete, so you know you're basically getting in. So yeah, you get a little bit.
All right, so you get accepted to 5-6 schools, and you want to go to Georgia State because there's some fellow Englishmen there. What's that conversation like with your mom and dad? Like,
I was actually thinking about that on the way here. There wasn't much pushback, and I don't know if like when I told them and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and go out to America, that they thought like I was just like he won't do that. He's not gonna go across the world. But they were great. There was no conversation of like, do you really want to do this? Where to like put down in my mind or whatever. They were like, if you want to do it, go do it. So they supported me the whole way. Both very upset when I left, and I was upset when I left too. But yeah, it could have worked out better. And
what do you think motivated you to just like leave all your mates and not know really anyone?
Yeah.
What motivated that inside of you?
I think I just loved soccer that much that I just wanted to keep playing every day. I didn't want to have to go and get a job.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to go, and I had all right grades, but I didn't, with the B-Tech and stuff, other people had got like A levels, which is higher education and stuff. Wouldn't have got a great job. Didn't want to be like waiting tables or anything. So I just thought, why not keep playing for as long as possible until somebody says, all right, that's it.
Yeah. So was the goal once you got over here to see if you could turn pro again?
Yeah. The first 2 or 3 years, yeah. And then when I got to my senior year and yeah, I kind of realized, okay, it's not happening. That's when I started looking at other things and going into the coaching world and stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me more about that. Like what does, all right. So you've left Scotland and you're in Atlanta, and senior year's coming, and you're like, yeah, I don't see me trying to do the pro thing anymore. You graduate, and what's the next day like after graduation?
I was lucky enough to like kind of get ahead of it. So I graduated in December. So October, November, I'd been looking at stuff, and the head coach actually came to me kind of randomly when we were on the road one day, and was like, "What do you think about, like, are you serious about going to coach?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely interested." He was like, "All right, go do like badges and stuff like that." And the head coach was like, "Look, we'd like to have you as like basically a volunteer assistant. We like how you think about soccer and stuff. So like, if you want to do that, like, consider it." And I took probably a couple of weeks. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then started coaching club at the same time, just at nights because that's in the morning, and just loved it. Loved every part of it.
You loved every part of both, or you loved every part of being a club coach?
Definitely both. I'm an emotion person where winning really matters. So like Georgia State, where games really matter and you have to go and win and you have to figure out how to win and how to get the best out of your team. Like I love every part of that, but I also really enjoy a club where you're developing players and it's not so much focused on winning. It's more, how do I get this kid when he's 9 years old to the end of the year to be way better than what he is? And, you know, what skill set does he have? Where can I put him on the field so he's successful? How do I communicate with him in order to get the things that I want and that he can develop at? And conversations with kids can be interesting, but
Yeah.
no, I love every part of it.
Do you have a kid right now that maybe you see a little bit of yourself in, and do you coach him differently than, do you coach Desm?
No, I can't do that. I've got U9s and U11s. I can't do that yet.
Okay. All right.
With the Georgia State boys, I can be a little bit more harsh, but the kids, there's a few of my younger ones who are definitely really good players, and if they continue to love the game and kick a ball about when they're not at training, you know, it's hard to be like 9-year-olds like, hey, focus on this. Like,
Yeah.
they're 9 years old. Like, just let them play. But some of them are really good. Some of them are a year younger too, so they're actually under 8s, and a couple of them they'll be fine going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can already tell like level of talent. And is it natural, or is it something you can tell like they've had a lot of coaching to get them to that point?
A lot of it at that age is natural. There's a little bit of coaching in terms of like positioning and more off the ball stuff, but on the ball stuff, like a lot of it is natural ability along with a little bit of coaching to help them with certain things. But like the kids at that age that are going to kick on, like they figure it out.
Yeah. Give me the last time you lost your mind at a referee.
Never
Never?
do it.
Wow.
Because probably as a player, honestly, so probably 3 or 4 years ago, the refs are kids. They're learning.
You're not yelling at the 12-year-old girl.
There's like some of them are older, but like I just leave them because it's under 9s soccer, and as soon as I start yelling at the ref, or the parents start yelling at the ref, then the kids think it's okay to yell at the ref, and just they're gonna make bad decisions. They're gonna make good ones. Just leave them alone.
Do you have a moment where you were embarrassed because of a parent on your team?
I've had to say a couple of things to a couple of people just in terms of either shouting at refs, or my pet peeve of it is when they try and coach from the other side and I'm trying to get something out of a kid and they're telling them to do the complete opposite, and the kid's like,
I don't know what
kids
to do.
looking at mom and dad, and I'm like, no, look at me, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
There's a reason why mom and dad, you're paying me to be in this position.
Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes they're not successful, but kids aren't going to be successful all the time at their age. They're going to give the ball away. They're going to make a mistake, and it may lead to a goal. Like, it is what it is. That's part of their learning.
All right, so you've got a 17-year-old kid right now who just started his professional career, and he is grinding every day, working really hard, training. What advice are you giving him?
Honestly, don't waste a moment, don't waste a drill, don't waste a day. That's part of my, if I was going to say, if I had any regrets going back, like I wouldn't fully commit to on the pitch, I was fully committed and stuff. It was more like the gym work. Like I never saw gym as important, but it's important. Like when you're in the gym, like go work hard or stay behind and do 10, 15 minutes of extras that you think you need to work on, or something that makes you feel more good about yourself. Like you might be going through a bad time, like passing the ball against the wall might get your touch right again or something like that. So like just little things where either doing a little bit extra or making sure that whatever the coach is telling you to do, just do it 100%.
So that extra 15 minutes, like after you get done, it's like, hey guys, like let's go work on this one last thing.
Yeah. Or you just take a bag of balls yourself, and if it's crossing, you go where you would probably cross the ball from, and you cross the ball. And even if it's 10 balls a day, it's that little 1% that separate the good players from the elite players.
Yeah. All right. So looking back on that moment where you basically hire the broker and like say, hey, I think I want to go to America and play more golf. I want to get a college education. And what do you wish you would have known going into that?
Probably how good it would, like it ends up being. So I knew it would. I wasn't worried. I'm not a massive worrier. I wasn't worried about, like, what if I don't like it? I knew people that had come out and done it, so I spoke to them. It was more like, nah, like I found my wife. I've got a really good job. Like I live in the sun most of the year instead of the rain. So like, just how good life will be after you've like given it a good shot and done your 4, 5, 6 years here.
It fascinates me, Ross, that that you can just pack up everything and just leave. It's funny if you didn't go through that hard reset in your life of like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going to America. How different your life would be. It would be so different.
Yeah, definitely. I'd probably still be in the same hometown, working some small job, or I probably wouldn't be coaching. That was kind of a passion that came later on. Yeah, just be living life, waiting tables probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful that you took the time to be here and talk about this. I know it was probably hard a little bit, but also
A little bit, but
freeing maybe a little bit too. Tell your
yeah.
story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. High fives. Man, what a story about a guy just taking a bet on himself. I loved that episode, and I loved having that conversation with Ross. So in closing, if you know someone or if you're in need of a new roof or roof repair or gutter cleaning, we'd love to be that company for you. So you can get our contact information below, and we'd just love to help you. And it would help us pay for this too. Can't wait to see you guys on the next episode.